But I'm making a public video. I'm sitting at a Starbucks that I spent a lot of time at when I lived in this part of Tennessee, just visiting to see some family and to see some old friends, and decided to sit down and make a video. And so I got some hot tea here. I don't have it in the shot, but it is some jade citrus green tea. Smells delicious. I went ahead and made a song here too. So I just been feeling inspired this morning. I want to talk about what I think should be addressed. I think we live in a highly self like improvement culture, and it's like I don't know. I wasn't as like critical of the ideal of self improvement until recently. I'm like, oh, no, I've heard some people kind of jab at it, and I'm like, what the heck are you jabbing at? Like, what's the jab at when someone is trying to improve themselves? But like when you think about it, and I got some ideas to share. Like, yeah, it's definitely a never ending lucrative business, right? Because and there's multiple things that I want to address when it comes to self improvement, and maybe why self improvement should not be the goal. The first thing that I'm thinking about is that maybe we're not broken or something to be fixed. As soon as you realize that you are, or you think that you are broken and that you are something that need to be fixed, there's an endless amount of things that can address whatever needs to be fixed, whether that is a movie or a TV show or a book or a podcast or an article or a meal plan. Just, I mean, there's an endless amount of things. Like everyone wants you to think that you are broken or in need to be fixed. Because if you think that, you're gonna do everything you can to get fixed. You're gonna go to church. You're gonna listen to these religious leaders. You know, I mean, you can just keep going on and on and on. But what if you realize that you are not broken or something to be fixed? Like, what kind of freedom can that give you? And a lot of these ideas I'm having, they're kind of just they're freshly baked. I haven't sat with these ideas for long enough to really get them seeping in my skin. But that idea alone is pretty profound. I mean, what if you realize that you are not something to be fixed? And not just that, maybe you are exactly where you need to be right now, wherever you are. And maybe your goal and maybe my goal should not be self improvement, but self awareness and presence, being present to where I am right now. Maybe my goal is to grow in my ability to be aware of my life, my actions, my thoughts, my surroundings. And this is the work. Maybe the work is not self improvement, but self awareness. Because we're always, with self improvement, there's always something more, something next, something to grab. With self awareness, it's about being present to what is and appreciating what is. And I think that is a more beautiful way to live and to operate in the world. A little too hot to be sipping, but man, okay. So maybe we don't even know where we are or where we should go until we learn to do this, which is to be self aware. Like maybe I don't even know what I need to improve until I'm aware of who I am, right? And so maybe the goal is always going back to self-aware. Maybe there's things that we can use, there's tools, there's even self-improvement and self-development tools that I could use to become more self-aware. But the goal is always presence and awareness and self-awareness. And this is how I'm able to navigate more healthily in my environment, in my world. Maybe instead of trying to improve everything in my life, maybe I should try to be present to and aware of my life. Maybe this is actually when I start to live, when I am awakened to what is all around me and I'm embracing what is. And it's not that like I'm just, because the thing is, when awareness comes up, things happen naturally. Beautiful things happen naturally. Changes and transformation happens naturally because you're not on autopilot anymore. Now you know, oh, my actions have a result, and what I think, what I say, have a consequence. So now that I'm aware of this, naturally there's going to be a different desire that's within me to do something different. And it might be a struggle. You know, there's going to be multiple times where the awareness has gone away. So there's not as deep of a awareness as it was before. So it's a continual process going back to self-awareness. And this is a thought that I think is really important. Like, think about kids. You think they are concerned with self-improvement? Think about this. Think about, I have an 8-year-old brother. He is not concerned with self-improvement. What he is concerned about is just being, and not just that, being present and being in the moment. He wants to live and worry about what's going on right now, not tomorrow or yesterday. And he's really good at being present. Kids are really great at being present. I think we're born with the high ability to be present, but we kind of lose it because we get caught up into the let me fix myself mindset, let me fix life mindset, right? And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with desiring things to be different. That's not what I'm saying. I just think that maybe the way that we're pursuing this is needs to be addressed. Maybe awareness as a whole should be the goal. Like I said, my brother, he's not concerned with self-improvement. He's going to improve naturally as he grows. That's the thing. He's going to, as he grows, his body's going to expand. His mind's going to expand. This is going to happen naturally, whether he likes it or not. There's going to be a natural transformation that occurs. And I think his goal is just to be aware of what's happening. And not just that, man, like, well, I think what we tend to do as a culture, we want to expedite our growth. We want to expedite our improvement when in reality, like, some of these things take long. Like, I can't just rush grief. I just can't rush my ability to listen and my ability to be intimate with the people that I love. Like, all of this takes time. Like, this is why I love tea, y'all. I love me some tea. When you're not buying tea from Starbucks or somewhere public, tea takes time. You have to boil the water. You have to put the tea bag into the water, let it steep for a little bit. You got to wait for it to cool down so it's cool enough for you to drink it without burning your tongue. I love tea because it reminds me of the process of life. And what would be different if we all embraced slow growth? If we all embrace that, okay, maybe where I need to be is right here. And maybe I won't get to where I want to be until I recognize the gift of right here. That sounds pretty biblical to me, right? So my question when I'm thinking about kids, like, at what point do we become obsessed with becoming better instead of being where we are? What if instead of becoming or trying to becoming better or being obsessed with becoming better, we just learn to be where we are? Man, kids are kids whether they want to be kids or not, and naturally they just grow up into adults. And maybe that's supposed to be our process. Just like everything else in creation, is there's like a natural process. The trees are not worried about self-improvement. Plants are not worried about self-improvement. Birds are not worrying about self-improvement. They are being. And I think naturally they're just improving because they're being and they're aware of their being. We're different because we do have a mind and we are aware. And maybe that's just more evident that this is where our work needs to be, in the self-awareness. And maybe the damage comes when we try to exploit growth and expedite growth. We can't Amazon Prime our way to maturity. That's the line right there. We cannot Amazon Prime our way to maturity. Like, we can't microwave our capacity to be wise. Like, this is something that happens through time. And maybe we should all strive to be right here and trust that right here is enough. Maybe only then we can develop the capacity to imagine what could be. When we fully embrace what is, then we develop the capacity to imagine what could be. Man, I think these are some pretty good thoughts. I just kind of wrote these down when I was thinking about this idea of self-improvement, maybe some problems with self-improvement. But man, the more I talk about it, like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, when I'm trying to improve myself, it's a never-ending cycle. But self-awareness is right here, and it's free. I don't have to pay for it. I don't have to, I have to pay for a self-improvement book or a podcast or whatever. I mean, the podcasts are free, videos are free, but like, there's something I got to pay for, right? Awareness is free. Everybody has access to it. Everybody. All right, I got some people looking at me, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. Blessings to your day. I hope some of these thoughts were helpful for you as you're trying to think about maybe 2024 and the things that you would like to see improved. My prayer and my hope is that you desire self-awareness, and maybe that idea could be helpful for you as you're trying to navigate your life and be with what is in your life. Thank you for watching.